video series on the games between my team, the video lessons group, and the team LullabyVisca. This is gkristiansen, who won his game. He won it on board, let's see what board he lost his other game, board 67, so one of the lower boards, but that's okay. The players still have decent ratings above 1600. Okay, let's go through and have a look. Okay, this is a very unorthodox move. The normal move is bring the knight out of f3 or the knight up to c3 or even take the pawn. This just seems to give black a free and easy game. The move that strikes me that black should play right now, I'm going to give you a little illustration here. I do this with some of my students. I'm drawing a bird. Okay, his tail is down here and his head is up on e8 and d8. Now I'll put some wings here. Okay, very crude, but it's a bird. Okay, now what the masters teach us is that you want to meet a wing attack with a play in the center. Okay, so the natural break also when you have the pawn chain to attack with your pawns in the direction the pawn chain points. So this seems to be the indicated move to play right here. Okay, now what's white going to do? Well, we don't know. What if white takes? We get an imbalanced pawn structure. Black's bishop gets developed, pointed right at the white king. This pawn could become a target. If white tries to hang on to it, he could seriously weaken his position. Like say white plays a move like f4. This just seems to beg the black's occupation of this square. Black could make a positional move to h5. The idea being that we want to fight either a knight on f5 or a bishop on f5. In particular, have it reinforced with both pieces. Okay, so for instance, white plays e3. Now look at his bishop. And, this is not a force line, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point. Now let's develop the bishop. Oh, we've got a pawn hanging. Well, I do these things. Let's back this up slightly. Let's play the knight to here. Okay, bishop e3, bishop f5. Okay, now white should develop something. But black is doing fine here. Black can play this move. Threat, pressure on b2. White protects it. Now we go ahead and take this and bring another knight out. Black is doing fine here. It's not clear what advantages white really has in this position. This is a very bad piece. So we want to come back to this move. What if white plays e3? Now black has a couple of choices here. We can make a capture, but this does spring this bishop loose. But this pawn is potentially a target. Black could gang up on it, so to speak. Bishop will attack it. We could get a knight to e6 or f5, or maybe even both at some point, and be putting pressure. And on that pawn, white would be tied down to defending it. But then again, there's no rule that says black has to take. You can just decide to develop something. Okay, let's put this bishop on f5. Once again, we're prescribing the theory. If you take the pawn, I'm going to take this one. Now maybe white plays queen b3. The idea being attack this. Black can comfortably probably play a move like queen c7. Not so much to defend this pawn, because we want to take this pawn if this pawn captures. Okay. So it seems to me like black has comfortable equality here, but black doesn't play e5. Okay, so what's going to happen? Okay, it's still possible, kind of possible to play e5. Let's look at it. e5. If pawn takes, you only have to move the knight. Let's see now. Queen d4. This just looks awkward for white. The queen is sitting here defending a couple of pawns. Queen here just comes to mind. putting pressure on this pawn. I'll try h3. Okay, let's see. Let's just go gain the tempo on your queen. We're going to hit f2. Okay, queen can't safely take here. So, white's in trouble here. White would need to find another move after queen a5. Because this is a threat. Let's see, b4. Certainly an interesting move. Well, queen c7. Maybe queen c7 was more accurate to begin with. This could be a plus for white. Now we're trying to win this pawn. So if h3 now, then you just take this. You don't have time to take the knight because the queen is loose. Okay, so what else can white do here? Probably more logical is to play a move like knight f3. Knight f3. But we'll just keep the pressure. We can't play knight here because we want to protect our knight. It just seemed to me that black is doing fine here. We could play h5 so that in case this comes, we don't have to endure double pawns. And we're trying to transfer the knight over to f5. Black is down a pawn here, but he certainly has play, and we could have played queen c7 directly and had this pawn back here. So it just gives you an idea that black needs to be playing for e5. Okay, so let's get back to the game. So here's kind of an unorthodox move. Bishop g4. One thing white could do is just ignore it. Play g3, bishop g2, and knight f3. Okay, instead he plays h3. Takes a little weakness on the king side. Okay, now the pin on the e-pawn is still intact. e5 is now prevented. So e6 comes in. Now the e-pawn is no longer pinned. Now here, this is a puzzling move. If white wanted to play this move, why didn't he play it instead of h3? So look at this knight. The knight has no moves. The dark squares are pretty weak, although it's not clear right now how black's going to take advantage of that. But all in all, the game looks about even. Okay, now I'm not too sure about that way. I've seen a lot of people they will like to capture that pawn just to use the F file. But at this stage of the game, the F file is not important. For one, white has it shut down with the pawn on F3. But what it does is it just causes a weakness here. And objectively, we want to capture pawns towards the center. Not away from here. If black had good control of the F file, it's a reasonable strategy. But here it's not clear how black is going to take advantage of things. Now I just thought of a different move here. No, actually it's not playable yet. What black would like to do is play this with the idea of giving a check. But we could have had that same idea with the h-pawn taking. So now there's no check. White decides to castle on the queen side, and we don't have this e5 break, which is out of the question now because the bishop will just take it. So it tends to think that if black wants to try to attack the white king, he's going to have to play b6. Okay, so he does go here. And now black just wants to trade off bishops. Now, maybe black shouldn't be anxious to trade that bishop because it's not a good piece for white. It's not a good diagonal, but that's all it has. Its path is hindered by his own pawns. Now, this is probably a mistake. You're letting him take, but you're doubling a pawn. You're making this pawn a little weaker, and he doesn't want to trade. Okay, here comes white's attack. I guess he had a threat on the f-pawn, but as a one-move threat, it's easy to meet. Here comes white's attack, and the threat's back on the f-pawn. And he just ignores it and says, I'm going to go for your king. I'll give up the f-pawn to take here, and if you take again, I'll put my queen down here. So he does do that. That's what happens. But now, this is black's defense, and it looks awful shaky. You know, white has some chances to sacrifice and bust this position open. Okay, I'm also concerned about this rook. It doesn't really have a way out if white blocks the f-file. So, you know, bishop h6 kind of traps the rook. I mean, it has a couple of safe squares if we wanted to, but how long is it going to stay safe? This would also prepare a potential sacrifice on the h6 square. That's what he does. Okay, so here's black. He needs to start an attack. Okay, you know, pretty much you gotta get one of these, find a way to get one of these breaks in. So here, this is too early. You know, just giving up the exchange. Black is basically admitting that taking this rook was a mistake. I mean, taking this pawn with this rook was a mistake, because now he's saying that I think your sacrifice is going to be too good here. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Let's find out. The rook isn't threatened now, so let's do the logical thing. Let's develop a piece. Let's put this knight here. Now we're trying to transfer it up here, just for the fun of it. Okay, now let's do the sacrifice. Okay. Now we need some defense. Okay. We have to cover h8 at some point. h7 is loose. Okay. Let's go down there. Now we blockade. Now notice the rook has a way out now. The rook can come back and defend. Does white have enough here? Okay. I don't think he does. You know, we need the queen this queen needs to get over here in a hurry. I'm trying to find a defense for black. Yeah, this may do it. Let's see. Rook takes, check. Does not win the queen because we have this resource. Pawn takes, threatens a queen check down here. But, you know, white has given up the exchange and a rook to reach this position. And it's black's turn. I mean, black, if anything, just take this and white's attack is over. You know, I'm sure black can do better. You know, queen to f7, and you know, white's attacking with a queen and a couple of knights. So, you know, white didn't necessarily have a winning attack there. So giving up the exchange was just bad judgment. But it does get rid of the threat of sacrificing. But black's not ready for it. White's not ready for that. You'd have to try to set it up. The rook was shut off, but didn't have to get itself up so early. Make white find a way to win it. Now that just seems to invite this move, trying to open up some files. There we go. Yeah, there it comes. Okay, now knight has a new threat. Gonna go grab some more material. Okay, that stops the threat. Attacks the knight. Knight's defending h6. Goes there anyway, and now the knight's kind of stuck. And black pitches a pawn with his knight sorting, and here's this guy still sitting at home. And white's up the exchange. He's almost up to rooks here, because you know, these guys haven't entered the contest. Okay, now this is just asking for it. This is saying, I know I'm going to lose, but I don't want you to checkmate me. So simple move for white is just take his queen. What comes up with an interesting move here? Queen h1. Not a move I would have picked. Doesn't mean it's a bad move. Black is losing. Might as well go for broke here. Okay, takes. Check. Can we get anywhere with this? King F, we get another check. It could be a nuisance. Let's see. Check here. Now this king needs some shelter. I think he's going to get it. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Here he comes. The king is a fighting piece, they say. And it looks like everything's defended, and you know, black can safely resign. So it's an interesting move. then he just decides he's going to trade queens, and again, it's like black is playing 2 rooks down because these pieces are in play yet. So hopefully he develops his knight, if he does. But now that pawn on h7 is deadly. Black needs to win the pawn on g6, and that's easier said than done. Especially when it's not even attacked and it's already defended. So, I'll just remaneuver my pieces a little bit, centralize my king for the ending, and go toast. And open up some more lines. White had a threat of rook takes bishop there, followed by g7 check. Stop that. And I puts the rook back where it started. I guess his plan is to play here. Okay, attack the knight. And black's running out of ideas here, and here he decides just to give things up. He's down the exchange, and how many pawns? Let's see. Exchange in 2 pawns. Maybe white could have played this, and then this. Now the idea is check. Okay, or just sit here. White's a piece up. What can black do? Let's try a5. Well, if you want to win the piece back, giving up your nice pass pawns to do it. No, you don't have to go into this route, but this would still win for white. Oh, it's a double. Oh, I'm trying to take the queen, and it can't. It won't let me. Discover check. It's all over. So rook takes e6 or f6 instead of king f3 on the last move. Would have been a clincher. Black doesn't really have a defense here. This is coming, and the king has no legal move. If you take this pawn, you get checkmated. Kaboom. But anyways, nice game for white. Black just rolled over and died, and white found the right moves when the gifts were handed to him. Well, thank you so much for watching. Take care.